All right, what's going on, everybody? It's Sober. Thanks for tuning in again. I kind of wanted to talk about this week with 9.2 dropping on Tuesday, kind of where demon hunters stand, and address a couple questions people ask me, like where are they going to sit in the meta, what specs or what covenant should I be playing, and just kind of go over some of the starting zone stuff. So, as far as and the covenant discussion kind of comes out to what content you're doing, right? Like if you're doing Mythic Plus and just Mythic Plus, your covenant options are pretty open. Night Fae is going to be super strong. I'm messing around with Night Fae now, especially in Mythic Plus, because that agility increase that you're going to get. And then you pair it with, and I don't even think I'm using the right, so I am, Karain with your first strikes, Wild Hunt Tactics. It's going to be huge. So your double legendary is going to get you 4% agility for 12 seconds for each enemy hit by the hunt. I think the hunt caps at 5 targets. So that's, you hit 5 targets, that's what, 20% agility increase. That's a pretty big number for, what was it? 12 seconds. That's realistically, that's almost an entire pack that you're getting a huge agility increase. And then you pair that with Unbound Chaos to buff your Fell Rushes, because Blazing Slaughter is going to give you an Immolation Aura, which procs your Unbound Chaos. So you have your opener you have your opening Unbound Chaos, you have your I-beams, Hunt, Fell Rush again for your next one. By the time all that's done, Immo Aura is back up, and you got a third one. So, and one of them, is done with a boosted agility increase. So there's definitely a strong argument to be made for being Night Fae in 9.2 in Mythic Plus. Venthyr, again, super strong, especially once you get the double legendaries, because you can then, meta is going to put your Sinful Brand on all your targets, combine that with Collective Anguish, and you've got double I-beams rolling to keep your Sinful Brand on the packs. So on fortified weeks, when those packs have tons of health and they're just living longer, Sinful Brand is going to do a ton of damage to them. And I've talked to a couple people about maybe even playing Necro in Mythic Plus. I mean, I don't think that's going to be in the meta, but the survivability you get from the Fleshcraft, and with the packs that you're consistently pulling, you're going to be proccing demons left and right to help heal you and buff you. So I definitely think you can play Necro. I don't think you'll really see too much of it, but you could definitely play it. And then just talking about where I see them in the meta for Mythic Plus. They're going to be good. Going to do a ton of damage. They're not going to be the meta. I don't think you're going to see them in MDIs, but you definitely can push high keys with them, just like you can now. You're fighting sub-rogues and Windwalker monks for melee spots. Fury Warriors and Survival Hunters that are all doing massive damage. But you can definitely run any content you want to run. You can run your keys as high as you want to run them, and as high as you're capable of running them on a Demon Hunter. So don't let that bother you. Don't let people tell you you can't. You can. You push your KSM. You can push, your 3K rating, because now 2500 is going to be kind of the base for KSM, because of the two wings of we call it Tasty Fish, the Tazavesh. So they're going to increase the Mythic Plus score. But I mean, you can push your key as high as you want to. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Demon Hunter is going to do great sustainable damage. It's going to do great burst damage. And remember, you bring that debuff, magic debuff, so your mage in the group gets some added damage. Now, onto talking about raid. Raid, unfortunately, I think there's only one real option for Havoc Demon Hunters, and that is going to be Venthyr. Just the double legendary with the with Sinful Brand, it's just too strong. So unless Blizzard nerfs that somehow or changes the way Collective Anguish interacts with it, I think you're locked in to Venthyr if you're pushing to min max as best you can. I think that's the way. It's not gonna say that you have to. You could certainly do it as Night Fae. You're not going to have any issues. You say you're just running normal, heroic, and you just want to play what you like. You can totally get away with playing Night Fae in Raid. But if you want to push your numbers, you're pushing for 100% parses, purple and orange parses, you're going Venthyr. Unless something changes, and if it does, I'll certainly update everybody on it as best I can. Now that I got that out of the way, I want to talk about kind of just playing a Demon Hunter in 9.2. They are tons of fun because you have so many different options. You can play Night Fae, and when you play Night Fae, you can play Momentum, you can play Demonic, you can play First Blood, you can play Cycle of Hatred. The only thing you're really kind of locked into is these first three: Unbound Chaos, Fellblade, and Demon Blades, because of the way it pairs with your class legendary and getting that Immolation Aura. You're kind of locked into there. But if you want to play Momentum, you play Momentum. If you want to play Demonic, you play Demonic. There's no set having to do this or having to do that. That does change when you go to Venthyr. You're pretty much locked into Blind Fury, Insatiable Hunger. Clave Tempest is what I usually go. I mean, you technically go Unbound Chaos, but without Fellblades and Demon Blades, it doesn't make a ton of sense. So I would go Glaive Tempest. Cycle of Hatred. You have to go Cycle of Hatred because you're trying to reduce your I-Beam cooldown so you can keep Sinful Brand rolling. And if you're going that route, Demonic is the only option. So you're pretty stuck there. But you have options. You can play whatever Covenant you want, and it's still going to be viable in pretty much any scenario. And they're just super fun to fly around, do a shit ton of damage, and back out. Survival is good. You've got your regular cooldowns, Blur, Darkness, Meta. If you're running Collective Anguish, you're going to get the self-healing from that. So you're very beefy as well. So I think it's a really good tier to play Demon Hunters. They are not going to be the best in every raid. I will tell you that. They are not going to be the best in every raid and every Mythic Plus dungeon. But they are going to be fun, and they're going to bring a ton of utility. You are going to see yourself getting invited to raids, Darkness, and you will do enough sustained and burst damage to warrant an invite every time, as well as your magic debuff that we do. So Demon Hunter is a great pick for 9.2. especially if you're just coming back to the game. You want to get into raiding, you want to get into Mythic Pluses. Demon Hunter is a really good class to pick, just because it does everything well. Whereas, say, a Windwalker Monk is going to do phenomenal, amazing AoE damage, their single target damage is a little bit lacking. Not with the Demon Hunter. It's not top tier on either side, so they do very good overall damage. So their single target has been helped a ton, especially going Venthyr, and their AoE is also being increased. And let's not forget, with the tier set, we get that added 6 seconds to our meta. So we're in meta longer on fights. And sure, you can reduce the cooldown for every Fury you spend, but as I've talked about and done videos on, the amount of Fury you need to spend to reduce the cooldown by anything meaningful is it's just too much. So our real benefit is the length that we get our meta up for. And if you're playing the I-Beams build and you're playing Demonic, you're going to be in meta for a long time. And that is why Venthyr in Raid, because the fights are longer, is going to be so good, because you're playing that build, because that's how you keep Sinful Brand up. But all in all, Demon Hunter is looking really good for 9.2. Solid pick for DPS. You're going to get invited to groups. You may have, a little bit of a fight getting into Mythic Pluses, just because, like I said, you're fighting against Windwalkers, Rogues, and Hunters, and Fury Warriors are pumping now too. But I think with the meta in tanks going to Prot Pally and Druids, groups that are going with a magic comp are going to want your DPS to give that boost to the rest of the group. And the little damage you lack in comparison to a Windwalker is going to be made up by your mage or your Ellie Shaman or your Boomkin, if you're rolling with a Boomkin. But all in all, like I said, Demon Hunter is going to be a solid spec. Havoc's a solid spec to play. PvP, PvE, it's probably one of the most fluid, because your main stat specs are the same for both content, PvE and PvP, haste verse. So it's super easy to switch between content and not have to worry about, do I got to change out all my gear now, and run 4 different sets of gear. You probably still will want to, especially if you're trying to play to the top levels, but you don't have to. You can very easily get away with running just 2 sets, your PvE and PvP gear. Anyway, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, everybody who's checked out the page, left some comments, likes, subscribed. I appreciate you guys so much. If you feel like I've provided some decent information in here for you, you found anything helpful, please like and subscribe to the page. It helps me make more content. If you have any ideas, anything you want to see, anything I didn't address that you kind of want to talk about, hit me up, leave a comment. I think I left my my Discord server on my channel details. I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, 9 to 12, Saturday, Sunday, 9 to 12 on Twitch, SoberTool123. I appreciate you dropping in, checking out, talking with us, hanging out. We're going to do some fun stuff on the channel at some point in time in Season 2. We're going to do a It's kind of like a 0 to hero, but the way I do it is I pick the worst DPS class in Mythic Plus, the one that never gets any invites, and we're gonna pug our way to KSM. So tune in for that. I look forward to seeing you all in season 3, and y'all have a great day out there. Thank you.